How many hours do you spend sitting every day? According to a recent article from the American Journal of Public Health of November 2018, studies using device-based measuring tools found that on average, adults typically spend 9 hours every day sitting down, while older adults typically spend 10. This large amount of time sitting down is bad for their health. As a senior at Days Fine Arts Magnet School, taking 3 dual enrollment courses and 4 AP courses, I spend the majority of my time sitting down. After all, whether it is in the classroom listening to the teachers teach, or at home working on online science on the computer, or reading textbooks online, or just doing assignments in general, I spend the majority of my time sitting at my desk. Because of this massive amount of time sitting, I decided to research whether doing so was bad for my health. From that research, I came to the conclusion that it is. Sitting down for large amounts of time can lead to increased risk of negative health effects, can lower productivity, and cannot necessarily be offset by concentrated exercising. So let's move on to the negative health effects of sitting for large amounts of time. According to the American Journal of Public Health of November 2018, recent meta-analyses reported that sitting for large amounts of time can double the risk of type 2 diabetes, as well as increase incidence and mortality risks associated with common chronic diseases by approximately 10% to 20%. These meta-analyses compared individuals who sat for 4 hours or less every day to those who sat for 8 hours or more. In other words, those who sat for less amounts of time every day had a less risk of getting type 2 diabetes or risk associated with common chronic diseases than those who sat for large amounts of time every day. In addition to the increase in risk of negative health effects, sitting for large amounts of time every day also lowers productivity. According to boosting productivity at work may be simple, stand up, research from the Texas A&M Health Science Center School of Public Health found that workers with stand-capable workstations were 46% more productive than those with only the traditional seated desk configurations. In other words, those who were able to only sit were 46% less productive than those who were able to stand. This makes sense because when you're standing, your heart rate is faster. Therefore, more nutrients is able to reach your head. Therefore, you're more focused. Now, you might assume that these negative effects of sitting for large amounts of time can be counteracted by exercising a lot. However, studies indicate otherwise. According to the American Heart Association, cited in the August 2016 Medical News Today publication, sedentary behavior can increase risks of heart disease, diabetes, and other conditions, even among people who are physically active. That being said, that does not mean that being physically active does not help lead to a heavy lifestyle, just that it doesn't fully counteract the effects of large amounts of time sitting. Now, James Levine of Mayo Clinic tries to explain why the negative effects of sitting for large amounts of time is not counteracted by exercising. He attributes it to the breakdown of fats and sugars in your body stalling when you sit. This makes sense because when you are sitting, you're using less energy than if you were standing or exercising. Therefore, your body does not need to break down as much of the fat and sugars to attain the energy it needs to function as it does when you are running or exercising. Sitting for a long amount of time has many negative health effects, such as raising the risk of cardiovascular disease. Furthermore, it can lower productivity. Do not assume that just because exercising helps lead to a healthy lifestyle, it can completely offset negative effects that sitting for large amounts of time can cause, because studies indicate otherwise. Beware sitting too long. It is in your best interest to stand. Thank you.
Very good, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good.